Hey nail techs, do you ever notice how women have a hard time raising their prices in business? Like, I'm a nail tech here, 38 years. I have seen it. I have dealt with it myself as a female because here's the deal. We females get so uptight and worried and just squirrely about when it's time to raise our prices. We literally will think of other people's feelings ahead of our own just to not offend them or make them upset because that's the way we were raised as little girls. We were always raised to put ourselves last, especially when you become a mama, you put yourself last. Children and husband goes first, okay? So we were raised at a deficit to win in business because of this ingrained mentality that we must make apologies for when we need to raise our prices, or we're not entitled to raise our prices. How dare you even think about raising your prices? But if you're a businesswoman, especially in the beauty industry, you have to consistently raise your prices every year, every other year, as the cost of inflation goes up. So here's what I learned back when I first got out of beauty school. I watched it happen in real time. I was working at a commission salon as an employee. There was only one male stylist, and the rest, there was like 8 or 9 other female stylists, and me, the nail tech, and then the manager, female also. We're watching like the male stylists get raise after raise after raise, like 3, 4 raises in a year. And as a commission employee, you don't get your commission increased because the commission is capped at a certain amount, usually 45 or 50%, because the other 50% that goes to the salon, that has to run the entire salon and pay the utilities and the taxes. We're talking federal, state, city, everything you see in that salon, right down to the pencils and the paper on the front desk, that is paid for out of the salon's portion of the commission. So in order to pay all the bills and make the profit, the commission salon will not give more than 50%. If they're a professional business, like it was a chain salon, this is how they roll. So this stylist, this male stylist, when he would get his raises, his prices would go up. He would have a new title, senior stylist, executive stylist, whatever the heck they made up. His price would go up, a few dollars here, a few dollars there, but every last service that he did, his prices would increase. And I watched, he didn't lose people. He had women in his chair right and left. I watched him and I learned from him as a young tech because he would put on a show. He would make them laugh. He was a showman. He would make them feel like they were the most beautiful woman in the world, even if 10 of them in a row came out with the same haircuts. He made them feel special. The appointment was all about them. So I watched and I learned. One day I walked into the salon and there's one of the female stylists. She's sitting in her chair. The manager's standing beside her, patting her on her back. Female stylist just bawling. I mean, losing it, crying. I thought somebody died, like she just got bad news. No, she had just gotten good news. She had just gotten a raise, but she was scared to death to raise her prices because she just knew she was going to lose all of her clients. And guess what? It didn't happen. I don't know if 1 or 2 dropped off. That's usually how it goes. You'll reach a point where a couple of people can no longer afford you or cannot justify affording you. And in that case, they will drop off. But the increased income you're making on the higher prices makes up for those very few that drop off. And then in the meantime, you keep hustling to fill those spots with referrals, okay? So I just learned from her. I thought, lady, you're crazy. Somebody giving me a raise? And like, can you even imagine that out in the ordinary world? You're sitting at your secretary desk or whatever, and they say, ma'am, you're getting a raise. And you start bawling out of like fear and like, no, you'd be like bawling out of happiness. Oh my God, I get to afford to put more money in my 401k, or I get to afford to pay off my car or something really good. But females are at a handicap as long as they keep that female mentality that we have to make excuses and we have to justify raising our prices. It's 2025 right now. Everybody knows about inflation. Everybody knows. All of our clients know. They deal with it. Now listen, your clients get a cost of living increase every year at their jobs. They just don't talk about it. And they might also get bonuses and raises on top of the yearly cost of living increase. Even people on Social Security also, they will get a cost of living increase on that. They're not telling you because they don't want you to raise your prices. So let's not be ridiculous here. We have to get out of the female mentality, and we have to think of ourselves and our survival and the good of our families, because you shouldn't be making apologies and lowering and keeping your income suppressing your income, keeping your prices low. You should not be doing that in order for all of your clients to be able to afford you, because they're putting up for their retirement, they're going on their vacations, they're paying off their houses, they've got their own deal to worry about. They're not worried about your deal. And at the end of the day, they're not going to be there to support you in your old age, because by keeping your income suppressed and low, you're paying fewer dollars into Social Security. So therefore, when you go to retire, your Social Security gonna be like this, if it's even still there. And if it's not, you shouldn't just be relying on your Social Security. You should be also putting up in Roth IRA, 401k, whatever investment vehicle you can, because like I got out of beauty school, like I said, when I saw that go down and the coworker crying. I'm 23 years old. Do I look 23 now? No, ma'am. This was 1987. So all of us, unless we die young, are going to get to retirement age. And by suppressing our income, by keeping our prices lower to accommodate clients, you're purposely putting yourself, unknowingly, but you're putting yourself at a deficit. And that is why I firmly believe a vast majority of women are at the poverty level. They're at the poverty level before they retire, and a lot of them are at the poverty level after they retire. Keeping your prices lower because you don't want to have that uncomfortable feeling of some client maybe making an offhand comment or pushing back. Oh, I might have to find a new nail tech. I might not be able to afford you. Me? I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I've enjoyed our time together and I'll miss you. And you know what? I understand if I have to take you off my appointment book, you just let me know and I'll do that. And I'll think of our time fondly. 9 times out of 10, they stick with you. There's a few that drop off. But now, because they drop off, that's not on me. That's on them. I either I didn't provide enough value that they feel they need to cut back in other areas of their life to afford the $1 or $2 raise that I have now raised my prices, every other year. Or they literally are living so close to the edge that these people really don't need to be squandering money on luxury nail services anyway. So, and then I hustle and I fill their spot by asking all of my other clients, hey, I got a spot coming open Tuesdays at 4:00. Do you know anybody? You have a friend or coworker or church member or anybody, relative who might want to fill it? Ask every one of your clients and you will get your spots filled. You will get those spots filled. So please, ladies, please overcome that mentality that we were raised with, because this is what's going to help women succeed as equally as men. It's not because men are better. It's not because they're smarter. And it's not because they got, swaying between their legs that somehow it elevates them in society. No, it's the mentality of the women that we were raised with. Me, myself, I had to overcome it myself. So anytime I feel that slightest bit of squirreliness about, I know it's time to raise my prices, I have to do it, I think of, what would Scott do? And that was the male stylist. And I immediately raise those prices. I put up a notice 30 days before. I put it at my nail table, my pedicure area. I make sure all my clients know. I text them the night before their appointment. Hey girl, remember 30 days from now, the new price is, and then so, everybody will know showing up the new price. And I don't make apologies. I do not. It is just cut and dried. This is business, and if females are going to be in business, you have to handle your business like a business person, and you don't get all upset. You don't boo-hoo, and you definitely don't apologize to the client. And don't worry about it, because it's all 100% going to work out. Like I said, 38 years in this business. I've raised my prices I don't even know how many times, and I'm still here with clients. So there you go, ladies. I've just given you some insight into human behavior, psychology, and nail business. So take it to the bank. Peace out.